Again. All right, guys. So now let's get to that Heisman conversation here. Sam, this is whenever you brag on your boy Genty. What's up with this man? What has he been doing? Why
All
does
right,
he
Ashton
deserve
Genty,
that trophy? Why does he deserve
bro.
it?
Listen, even if you don't want to say he's going to win the Heisman, you just got to watch him play because
Mm-hmm.
he's just one of the most like electric players I've ever seen. Like
Yeah.
watching culture, I've just never seen a running back make so many people miss. Like his signature move is literally a stiff arm, and it literally is like the Heisman. Like he just has all of these natural gifts that like all just culminate into like I swear a perfect running back.
Right.
And it's just crazy to see like there's a lot of like crazy things being said like generational player, and it's like dude, you might be like, I mean, he's having a season that we haven't seen it since Barry Sanders, and
Yeah.
he's not even playing the second half of these games. Like
I know that's what's
he's not even
crazy,
scoring.
dude. He's not playing in the second half of these games, and his total yards and everything are already ridiculous. They're already like what other running backs aim to do for through a
Yeah,
bowl game.
yeah, and averaging over 10 yards a rush, bro. What? A
Yeah.
first down every time you give this man the ball, and the fact that people know that you're going to hand it to him and you still can't stop him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh,
Reminds me of
yeah.
somebody. Reminds me of Vince Young, national championship. Everybody knew he was going to run it. Couldn't stop it.
Who predicted that Derek was going to make a Texas comparison here?
It's literally a good comparison because USC was at the time the best assembled team of all time with two Heisman winners, and all you had to do is just stop Vince Young and you win the game. You couldn't even do that. So yeah, I say it's a good comparison.
Mhm.
I don't know.
But
Vince is a quarterback. Genty is a running
He was
back that's a
also a running
bowling ball that
quarterback.
yeah,
these guys bounce off of Genty. Derek, you need to go and watch some more of Genty's film, dude.
If you want to really compare him to Barry Sanders, man, he could break Barry Sanders' record, but you know what? Barry Sanders did it in 11 games. So
yeah, and also the bowl game didn't count, and he went kind of nuts in his bowl game. I think he rushed for like over 300 yards, and I saw like 5 or 6
God,
touchdowns. Something crazy in the bowl
mhm,
that's
game. In the bowl
insane.
game, he was stunned.
yeah, hmm
And and he was
so
doing it in tougher competition probably.
Hmm.
yeah.
All
But
right,
yeah,
so what do you guys think of Milrow? And then we'll put yours in this conversation and Travis Hunter. What do you think Milrow has to do? Do you think that it could still be on track if we were to guess? Where does Milrow end up just kind of moving forward? Where do some of these other guys end up moving forward? And who gets it at the end of the day from what we've seen so far?
I really
Well,
don't think it's
most
going to be a quarterback this year.
Mm.
I think
Derek
you know there,
disagrees.
there, I think that if you have a player like Travis Hunter, right?
Yeah.
That's like we're not going to see for a long time again. I
Mm.
mean, you're going to give it to Milrow? Like, I mean, okay, because it's not the best. It's not like leading your team to the best record. I mean, it's the most impactful player. It's like the best player in college football. So of course you
Right.
want to be that guy. It's the difference maker
Yeah.
for your team, and winning will is what you want. And Colorado right now, we'll see what ends up happening with them. But the
Yeah.
fact that he's just elite at both sides of the ball and just plays so many possessions,
He's pretty good.
I just think I
He's
just think
really
if it's
good.
not Genty, if they just
mhm.
decide not to, like it's got to
Hmm.
be Travis Hunter. I don't think it. Don't think that they're gonna say Cam Ward, who a
Yeah. I don't
couple of iffy
either.
back to
Yeah,
back wins,
And
and
Genty's
sure.
then
leading it right now. Genty's number
Yeah.
one, I think, right now.
he's the
Let me
people's
let
favorite.
me
I'm telling you,
let me put the case here.
Tim
Travis
Tebow,
Hunter.
Shannon Sharp, bro, they're all
No, no, no. Let
Micah
me put the
Parsons.
case here. The last guy to win the Heisman that did what Travis Hunter did was like almost 30 years ago from Michigan. Michigan had great competition. Colorado, they don't really play great competition. They haven't really been tested. And for a guy playing both ways, playing against really good teams, could he really do that? Would he be as effective with the really good teams? Probably not. Same thing with Ascenti. Yeah, Oregon is a good team, but at the time, Oregon was sloppy. It wasn't right there at doing anything. And then it all depends. Well, if Ohio State goes in there and beats the crap out Oregon, and 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 they do the same thing what Ashton Gentoo did and start running, and they can't stop the run. Now you got to take
Yeah,
that effect. Well, maybe
Mhm.
it's just the teams they were playing that he's able to do that. So
yeah,
we'll find
mhm,
out really what happens. But here's the thing: not in 95% of the time, it's a quarterback win the Heisman. You
for sure.
rarely see a
Yeah.
running back win it. I mean,
I
I
mean,
can
even
name
what
quite a
the
few
last time
running
it's two
backs
for
who
Devontae
won it.
Smith, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, Ricky Williams was one. Ricky Williams was actually an unusual one when he won it. They literally lost 3 games when he won it in the season. I mean, that doesn't happen.
Mm,
So, especially a
down
running back,
years. Yeah,
you know. But you got Ash Ginny as 1, Travis Hunter's 2,
Mhm.
Cam Moore is predicted Vegas odds is FanDuel odds as the third best odds, and then you got Jalen Milroe as the fourth favorite odd in FanDuel, and then there's Dylan Gabriel, and
yeah.
we
No,
go
I
down
can't
to
believe Dylan Gabriel's in there. So yeah,
yeah, but we can go down there like Carson Beck, Jackson Dart,
Mhm.
Quinn Ewers is like in 10th spot
yeah.
on
Their
FanDuel.
stock can all rise too. Like, you know what I mean? So because if Georgia beats Texas, like, yeah, Carson Beck can. I mean, he came back, against Bama. Like, he
Yeah.
looked rattled, and he came back. So it's like he can have those Heisman moments too.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. I want to ask you. Let's throw out a scenario. Let's say Quinn Ewers got hurt before the season started, and Arch Manning was in, and they're in this spot right now where they're at because Arch Manning has done pretty well. Would Arch Manning be the front runner for the Heisman?
At this moment, even if he was the starter, I still don't think he would be it. But I will tell you that the media narrative for it would be nuts. Like, they'd be
Yeah, I
pushing
know.
Arch Manning like crazy. Like,
Mhm.
Hmm.
and that's what I was gonna say. I wonder if he even is gonna play at all the rest this year. I mean, I hope Quinn does play because I think he's earned it. But
Yeah.
we'll see what happens. I mean, not to say that they would ever pull him for Arch, but just if he's like not all the way healthy. Um, but I still think that he would probably be at because what Ashton Genty's doing right now through 5 weeks is just so unheard of that I still think
Yeah.
if Arch was the quarterback, they still wouldn't, until at least they play OU and some better competition. Then
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe it would change.
Arch Manning will definitely next year, especially when Quinn Ewers go out, because he's going to be a first round pick. But Arch Manning will definitely be. I promise you this: Arch Manning, from his name and the way he's played and his first 2 starts, he got better and better, and he did more than Quinn Ewers did in the amount of games that he did, with more rushing touchdowns, more passing yards, and all that. Uh, uh, Arch Manning's going to be the favorite to win the Heisman starting out the season next year.
Yeah, yeah,
Guarantee it.
I agree. I agree with that. I agree with that.
So
I think he
who's
ran
winning
faster
it
than
this
Type Beat,
year?
right?
Yeah.
I
Well,
think it's going
I
to be
think,
Travis Hunter. I think it's going to be Travis Hunter ultimately. I don't think it'll
yeah,
be QB though.
well,
What do you think, Derek?
I think it's be Ashton. I think it's going to
Wow,
be
really?
Ginty. Yeah, because
I think
Travis Hunter's about to get in the deep of things. They're finally actually going to
yeah,
start playing both teams, so
Yeah.
yeah.
it works.
I also
And I
think
hope
yeah.
Yeah, I think the record is going to hurt Hunter as well. I think
they're
that
going to start losing.
Yeah,
yeah, it's
and
going to be hard to
mhm.
put a team that's 6-6 at best probably.
No,
Um
I won't say
and then
6-6, but
what do you
and
think
then
they're going to
too
be
with
at?
they have one loss, don't they?
Yeah.
They haven't lost in the Big 12. I mean, maybe they
Well,
lose
they
2
will.
more. Maybe they lose 2 or 3, but they're not gonna be 6-6. They might have 4 losses,
Mm, let's look.
you gotta go look that up. But
I was gonna
no,
say
they're not gonna get it.
in favor of Ashton Genty too. I think a lot of people like to root for like the underdog, and just coming from the small school on top of staying after getting all the NIL offers to transfer to the bigger schools, last year, and him choosing to stay for like the legacy he wanted to leave. Like, I think
Mhm.
a lot of people, and the fact that he's a walking highlight reel. Like, I mean, every game, it's consistent.
Yeah.
Every single game, you got to tune in because it's like the fact that he can score a
Mhm.
touchdown every single time he touches the ball. He has that breakaway
Yeah.
speed. He breaks the most tackles. Like, I mean, he scored a touchdown the first time he touched the ball against Utah State last week.
Yeah.
Like the very
This is
first play. It's
Yeah,
crazy
anybody who hasn't seen his highlights, go and check those out.
because it's like
Like
this
I
is
for
feel like
great.
we're
real.
underselling it. Like whenever people talk about his stats, it's just like ridiculous, like numbers.
Well, this is what I don't agree with how the voting ends with all these awards. They should wait till after the national championship. It's because I
Yes, I
guarantee you,
agree. I've said that
you
too. I agree with that
Because
Vince
100%.
Young
because like
will
the high
Vince
stakes
Young
and stuff.
like for
Yeah.
instance USC Texas. Reggie Bush won the Heisman. Guarantee you,
Yeah.
Vince Young would have won the Heisman after that championship game, hands
Yeah.
down. You know, but
Yeah.
that's why you should wait because Jinty doesn't really play competition as a lot of these other teams.
Easy now, Derek. I'm
If
telling
he
you,
goes
dude,
in
this
if he
guy
goes into the playoffs, you're
I,
going to see a whole different story. And
Bro,
no,
he's pretty good, man. He's pretty
most
good.
people.
This
but the thing
guy,
is, Ashton Jinty, any player that goes in the playoff is not going to play to their best
bro,
ability when they play weaker
dude,
teams.
this
They're
isn't
going to dial down. Every player will dial down. It's just how
Derek.
bad will he dial down?
Derek, this guy is
That's
not
why he's a
some
Heisman man. That's why he's a
yeah,
Heisman
he-
That's why he's a group of 5 Heisman. Like
dude,
this is unheard of.
he's not some small little guy that's in this little conference just, outrunning everybody with speed. This guy is a beast. Like this is a man running around in that conference.
I just want to
This
see
guy
him.
is legit. He could start anywhere, dude. I'm telling you, he could.
I want to see him against Georgia's defense. You know that if they're a 12 seed, they're playing Georgia. They're
Hmm.
I
playing
would love it,
Alabama.
honestly.
They're
That would be
playing.
Which I've seen Georgia
interesting.
fans talk about that too, and they're like, "This man's gonna run for 300 yards against us." I'm not even. That's
Yeah.
Georgia fans. I'm not joking. Like at least online, I've seen like funny
So
stuff
so
like that.
real quick, guys, we wanted to talk Colorado's schedule.
Yeah,
Colorado hosts Kansas State this weekend. Then they go to Arizona. They host Cincinnati. They go to Texas Tech. They host Utah. They go to Kansas, and then they finish off hosting Oklahoma State.
Kansas State, Oklahoma
they're
State, and Kansas State will be their biggest challenge right there. I think. I think Kansas State's the best team in
Utah,
that conference.
Utah,
No, I think Kansas State's way better than Utah. Utah just. I really
dude,
think Kansas
Kansas
State.
State got waxed one of these weekends. Kansas State is not all
yeah.
that.
Well, BYU
Well,
kind of
like the
Yeah,
unfortunately.
Big 12's
BYU
whack.
waxed them.
Kansas State got the Big 12 is whack all around. But I really think Kansas State goes in to win this whole thing.
So what do you think Buffalo or not Buffalo, sorry, the Colorado, the Buffaloes, what do you think that what's their final record gonna be
I don't
there?
think
They're
they win
four
the
and
Big
one right
12.
now.
I think they're gonna have some surprise wins, but I think they're gonna drop some too. Like I
They,
think it's
they
just
lose
gonna
to
be like
Utah, Kansas State. Yeah, they lose to
I don't
they've
think
always
they get
yeah.
further than 6. I guess they could, but it's just
6
weird. I
wins.
just like they're at 4 right now. I mean, I don't they could win a couple of these coming up, but like
Yeah,
I just don't think they're that good. I thought that they escaped from a Baylor
Kansas
team
3
that's
wins.
terrible. Like they escaped from Baylor, and Baylor is not very good. Colorado State, not very good. North Dakota State, not very good.
North
And then they
Dakota
played a
State
decent
FBS
Nebraska
school.
team. They played a Nebraska team that hasn't beaten a ranked team in like 20 years.
North Dakota State
And
is
got
actually really
waxed.
good.
Okay,
North
they're
Dakota
good for
State.
FCS team, I know, but they
They've
don't
always been
play.
one of the best teams in the FCS. And if you had to put,
Yeah,
if they were playing in the FBS conference, I think they would match up pretty well with a lot of teams that are in the
Maybe,
group of
but we
five.
don't know that. We could do
I mean,
hypotheticals all day long, but yeah.
they gave us Trey Lance. Screw you and Carson Wentz. Ugh.
But like, look for real
They
though.
gave us
Like,
Tyler Lockett.
look at who Colorado has played and beat and lost to. They lost to Nebraska. How good is Nebraska? They lost 28-10 to Nebraska. They beat Colorado State. How good is Colorado State? Colorado State is let's see. Colorado State is 1 and I think they're okay. They're 2 and 3. It looks like. So they
Yeah,
beat
and
Colorado
against
State.
UTEP, who's bad in North Colorado. Northern
Yeah,
Colorado,
so
right?
like dude, these wins for Colorado ain't all that. They beat Baylor, and Baylor's. I don't think Baylor even has. Do they have 2 wins? Yeah, I think Baylor's 2-4. Um, and that had to go to overtime. So I don't see where you think that they're going to get all these wins, Derek.
Tech. I think they beat Tech. I think
At Tech, at Tech.
yeah, I think they beat the Tech. I think they lose to Cincinnati, Kansas State, and Utah, and they win the rest.
Look, Texas Tech isn't like they're not a super good team, but I tell you, those fans, they will show up for Colorado. They will
Bro, that's it.
show
Have you ever been
up.
up to Lubbock?
Yeah, dude, they will rally, man. And yeah, no, they're not winning at Tech. Yeah, no, that's not happening. But I guess we can move on from Colorado. We can get into that later down the road. But you guys think, or Derek, you're saying you think Genty's going to win it. Sam, you think Travis Hunter's going to win it. I'm going to go with Genty as well. I just think that I don't think Colorado continues winning. I think that they're probably their ceiling is 6 or 7 wins. And hey, if they prove me wrong, they prove me wrong. But I got to see it before I start counting wins for them.
Well,
And I'm going to take Genty just because of the records.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
now. This is now what I think. Boise State
Well, I'm
can
saying,
lose
what do
to
you think based off of what you know now? What do you think will happen at the
Boise
end?
State can lose to UNLV and then lose to them in the championship, and all of a sudden they're irrelevant.
Genty
Not
won't let them
relevant.
lose to
Yeah,
UNLV.
I
I'm
do
just
think Boise
saying.
runs the table, but we need it to be the narrative to be that Genty is pushing them into the college football playoffs,
Yeah,
and if they do get that spot, it's like, okay, yeah, he is. I mean, he is one of the. He's
Maybe.
easily.
he's insane, dude. And God, please stay healthy. I hope he stays healthy. I hope
I
there's
know
no.
it's something to play him, but yeah, dude,
Yeah,
he's always been really healthy, and
I just hope
he
for
doesn't have
his
a lot of
sake
merits.
we get to see what his potential is. You know?
I mean, in the first game, bro, against Georgia Southern, where they kept it close, he had 6 touchdowns, and they needed all 6 to win. Like
Yeah,
they needed it, and he hauled out in
yeah,
Oregon. Like almost 200 yards, the 3 touchdowns, a 70-yard one. I mean, like he kept them in it. Like Oregon had a huge touchdown, and he gets the ball. Oregon kicks off. Boise gets the ball. They just hand it Genty, runs that 70-yarder, answers, is waving by to the crowd. If we just didn't allow 2 special teams touchdowns, I mean, we lost by a field goal, and that's why Oregon does beat Ohio State. Oh, Boise stock is going to go through the roof. Like I think that they're already ranked like one behind Utah right now. Like they're ranked pretty high for a group of 5. You know,
yeah,
so we'll see.
yeah. We'll see. That's all we can do is we'll just wait and see. All right. Well, I guess with that being said, let's go to some of these other matchups and other scenarios.